If you're considering buying a commercial fridge for your business, your farm, if you're a hunter, the Coolbot system is infinitely better, more reliable, and far more inexpensive. And you're gonna get Wi-Fi monitoring on your phone, so you'll always know what the temperature is at all times. So why would you not want a commercial fridge? Well, let me tell you from experience, I had one for my market garden, and I would store my vegetables in it before taking it to the market. At some point, the compressor went out. I called a professional to come out. He charged me $100 just to come out and tell me it was broken and that it would cost me another $1,000, which is basically the cost that I paid for it. When that happened to me, I searched out solutions. I found the Coolbot and modified that little commercial fridge to put in one of these. Now, that worked fantastically in the summer. You'd be amazed that an air conditioner can actually keep the fridge at 34, 35, 36 degrees full, even in summer. And what's special about this build versus other ones that you might see online, this is probably the most inexpensive build that you're gonna be able to find. We used all recycled styrofoam for this, as many parts as we possibly could that we didn't pay for. The most expensive thing was the air conditioner, which I think was $700. So let's get into the build of this video and how we set this whole room up. And then at the end, I'll give you guys a ton of tips. If you wanna do this for yourself, how do you figure out the size of the room you need, the size of the air conditioner, different other things that go into making decisions about this. And if you want to end up buying one, I have a $20 off code. Just click the link in the description and you'll get that. So this old storage room was cleaned by Blake and his mom. It's ready to go. Now we're going to do electrical work first before we add our insulation. So we're going to be adding in a couple lights and an outlet box in the location. And you also want to think about, for your outlet box, it needs to be close enough to the air conditioner that the cord will reach. Usually the cords on these air conditioners are super short, like 4 feet, and you want to be directly plugged into an outlet. You're not supposed to go through an extension cord to connect it. And it's going to be split in the middle of the room here. So we've measured that distance, and now we just need to do a little bit of math to figure out the equidistance so we can put all those supports in the right place. The other thing that we're working on is getting these beams in place and securing them, because this is where we'll be hanging the animals. So it needs to be pretty strong. So we're going to be attaching an extra 2x4 to the wall here and attaching some brackets to these pillars as well so that they can't shift or move and they'll be locked in place. Test it. It holds. Success. Above this is where the styrofoam is going to be. Blake got a bunch of recycled styrofoam that he's been storing for years, and turns out this is a great project to use it for. It's 6.5 inches thick. Using these boards to snug up the styrofoam against the wall worked really excellent. And what we did to drill into the studs, we just really tried to pay attention to the stud that we could see above before we built it out, and just tried to line it up and made it go in. Now that we got the window out, we need to set up a frame that's going to hold the AC. Because the hole is much bigger than the AC. This is roughly 17 3/4 high. This is 34 3/4. That's nice. So we'll just build this out completely flush up top with wood. We'll be able to set this in and it'll rest against the top piece here. Okay guys, so on the back of this wall here, you can see we just simply covered it up with some wood. There's spray foam on the inside. Now, on all these ACs, there's gonna be a little drain plug in the back. Be sure to pull that out so that any excess water will drain out. And then you're just gonna wanna support the back of it. Now you could do it as simply as we're doing here, or you could build out a little frame There's many ways that you could do this, but you just want to ensure that your AC is essentially level, slightly downward so that the water can just drain out easily. As time goes on, make sure that these fins stay clean, and you don't want to ever rub these with your hand. You'll bend them. It's just like a car's radiator. Use an air gun or a blower and you can blow this out if it does get dusty. Or you can even, like on your AC unit on your house, you can rinse it off if it does get too dirty. It'll help it to run a bit more efficiently. So if you're new to this Coolbot system, this whole idea of an air conditioner being able to cool a room like this, I'm gonna give you guys some more details and information to help you figure out your project. And if you do end up wanting a Coolbot, check out the link down below. You'll get $20 off if you do end up purchasing one. And also check out the Coolbot website because it's gonna really help you to figure out what size air conditioner that you need for the room. They have all sorts of calculators and FAQs to help you design the room. So the first thing that you guys gotta think about is what type of insulation do you wanna use? Now this was a super inexpensive build because Blake has been collecting this styrofoam over the years. And what you need for these cool rooms is a R value, R25 or more. And the R value is an insulative value. And when you go to any big box store to get your foam board, or there's like, you're looking at spray foam insulation, it's gonna have that R value number. To build out one of these rooms, normally, let's just say you're doing this in a garage or you're converting some room, you can just attach the foam bar directly to the 2x4s in there, or you could plywood out the room, or you could spray foam all the insides in between the 2x4s and have it insulated that way, and then put a covering on the outside. Or like us, we have no covering on the inside of this. One of the coolest ways I've seen farmers use this for their farmers market is to have a Coolbot attached into a trailer so they can load it up, keep everything cool there, bring it back home. And that's usually done with a spray foam. So right now I'm at Tennessee Mountain Farm. My friend Blake, we do a lot of farming together. You've probably seen some of the videos that we've done together, and he has a YouTube channel now that you guys can check out. We killed my pig here on the property about a month ago. It was about 300-pound pig, and we hung the body in here to cool the meat down before butchering. It went perfectly. The Coolbot held at perfect temperature, you know, right around 35. And what's cool with the app is you can monitor it or give yourself an alert. So let's say something went wrong with the AC, which would be crazy rare, or you know, just something happened where the door got left open and now it's all hot. You're gonna get an alert for that so that you can fix it. On a commercial fridge, you know, those don't really have that typically. So if your fridge went out overnight, you would never know it. So to figure out the size of the air conditioner that you need for your room, take your room's measurement, go to the Coolbot website, and punch it into their calculator, and they'll estimate the size air conditioner that you're gonna need to purchase. Definitely recommend getting an LG because it's just higher quality, they will last longer, and be more reliable. And what I love about the Coolbot system, God forbid something happens and this breaks. What does it cost you to fix it? All you gotta do is buy a new AC, and that's it. That's my favorite thing about this. So this is a $700 AC. Let's say 10 years from now this dies, the room's still intact, it just cost you that. So because we're hanging up animals in here, we had to install these hooks, and we still need to modify the system a bit more. We need to have a proper pulley in here because when me and Blake lifted this up, it was me, Blake, and his mom. His mom had to fit the hook on while we lifted this pig up. That's how I know it's 300 or more pounds for the carcass weight, because it took both me and Blake's weight to be able to put all of our weight into it so that we could lift it up. What they use in a professional butcher shop, they have a rail system, and the rail system allows them to slide around. Now you could build something like that easily inside of your cool room. How cool would that be? That's something that we're dreaming of modifying this place for in the future. So now let's go talk to the farmer, Blake, and see what he thinks about the Coolbot system and you know, building this room, and if he has any tips for us that might be helpful.
Yeah, as we were reflecting on how to do this room in a better way, the mounts right there, they're actually on a nut that has a big washer under it, and so it's not going to come through that 4x4. And if I have a 100-pound pig total body weight, you know, a 6-month-old, 5-month-old that came in at 200 pounds, you cut it in half, or 100 pounds, cut it in half, there's 50 pounds to mess. It's easy on this. that 300-pound pig was so much. So I'm taking down a chicken house anyway that has these mechanical hand cranks to raise and lower the equipment, and we'll be able to bolt those around the 4x4 as well and bring a pig or an animal in on just sort of a metal gurney, hook the crank to that, and either with hand or I've got something with a power drill that you can just hook up to the power drill, pull the trigger, and it'll winch it right up to the top.
So this is a hand winch, if somebody wanted to look that up.
Yeah. But other than that, just look around and see what you got to use. Make sure you can stop all the air cracks, and foam worked great for that. We thought the tape was going to be the trick on it, but really foaming the stuff was better.
Okay.
And then, honestly, with Coolbot, being able to get the alerts on the phone and be able to log in at any point in time and just see how it's doing, that's been fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm looking at what Cliff Davis is now producing of these aged 3-year hams. It's prosciutto, and looking at this room, and after we get through the summer season, just to see how it's all going to keep up and what improvements to make. But if I could get a place to put hams for 3 years, oh
man,
it's a nice long-term project after that. So I'm looking to see what those things are, but that's what I think I can use this for. Is I never had thought of being able to really age a long-term product like that.
But now it's possible.
With minimal inputs. I've not noticed, much at all on the power bill in the last little bit since that's been in there. So it's easy to operate. It's nice to have.
So you might notice that there is no door on this thing, and that's because we've just been using this styrofoam piece, and we prop it up against the door, right? This is very low budget, very inexpensive. We could totally frame out and build a door into this. There's nothing stopping us from doing that, and we might do that in the future. But Blake just wanted to keep this build more inexpensive and just get it done so we can start using it. In the summer, we may find out that we do want to make sure this is more secure just because of the heat, making sure we're not letting in excess heat through little cracks or something. But that's something we'll determine later. And that's something I'll do an update video. When we upgrade this thing further into the future, I'll show you guys what we've done and how we've modified it to make it a bit easier to work with meat. So here's the actual Coolbot itself. Very simple device. And when you're installing it, there's 2 temperature probes. So there's the temperature probe that will measure the room, and it says room. Then you have one that says fins. This will go inside of the fins. That's measuring the temperature that's coming straight out of the air conditioner. Your little heater probe. That probe is connected to the temperature probe of the air conditioner, tied together with some aluminum foil, and that tricks this into thinking that this room is always really hot so that it can run at the lowest temperature. If you have the Wi-Fi enabled Coolbot, there's a little jumper cable that connects to your box right here that controls all the Wi-Fi. One of the most important things to remember when you're building this, you want to make sure that you have a good outlet, a 240 outlet. Depending on how strong of a air conditioner you buy, the most powerful ones might need a 240. So make sure that your electrical is set up correctly, make sure that amperage on your breaker is set up correctly, and the size of your air conditioner is going to determine that. Let's say you do want a commercial fridge or something that's really professional. Coolbot now sells these full rooms built out, ready to go, set up, and they will ship it to you. So that is another option if you want to go more professional and have something that will stay more inexpensive because of the AC unit and has that ability that if something does break on the AC, you can switch it out with another AC rather